The implementation of Ghana Cybersecurity Act 2020, the role of CSOs, which aim to protect the civil society organization with the usage of 292 Law Enforcement Security Code Mechanism Report Unit, organized by Media Foundation for West Africa in dealing with anyone found capable in polluting the cyberspace in Ghana. According to Cybersecurity Authority, Mr. Alex Oppong established that CSOs play an important role in the life of the society in touching the grassroots of the general public to address the general issue, most especially in the area of child online protection.
Cyber the information itself is not, Cybersecurity Act is more focused on securing the cyber activity as opposed to the data itself. So it doesn't really tackle fake news also, but one of the things it does look at is looking at making sure that you do not propagate bad information in terms of different kinds of news.
So please give us a general.
The CSOs play a really important part in society. Because one, they are people who pretty much touch the grassroots of our public, and then they're able to address certain issues. For instance, in today's gathering, you notice that most of the area that they tackled was surrounding child online protection, because that looks like we have a lot of CSOs who find that a very important area to basically consider. And one of the things that's within the Cybersecurity Act that we have done, we've got several provisions that protect children from being groomed, being extorted, being stalked, and a whole lot. So there are provisions in there that also help the civil society organizations to actually be able to know exactly how they will be able to speak or advise the people that they interact with in the other day. And they've got a law to back it as well. The reporting, mostly the most popular reporting mechanism that is being used. You dial 292, you send an SMS to 292. Once the incident is reported, we then have a unit that specifically interacts with the law enforcement agency that needs to deal with that particular crime. And therefore, once the report's received, it is then basically investigated accordingly. The public will need to report. If you know someone who's actually getting into cybercrime in any way, it has to be reported. We are not going to always be on the ground to be able to understand where the crimes are coming from. It has to be a civic responsibility for everyone to be able to report these crimes. As I said, I think one of the panelists gave a simple example by saying that, look, by continuously actually having an indecent image on your phone alone is a crime. So if you find someone who's got an indecent image, why aren't you reporting it? The question is, you should report this because it's the only way we are going to be able to get people to basically deter from these kind of crimes and make sure that they're reported and investigated accordingly.
Do you think that
In the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038, the Cybersecurity Authority itself, remember, has only been in existence since October last year. So there's still a lot of work to do. That means that there's still a lot of sensitization, a lot of awareness creation that we need to get into. But in terms of actually building the capacity amongst our law enforcement agencies and our judiciary, a lot of that has been done over the years with our international partners such as the Council of Europe. And so our judges are more prepared, more equipped to deal with these kind of cases when they come through. So as a day-to-day basis, yes, the report is essential. And two, once we got the reports, you will hear a lot more about it. But because we've only been in existence for a very short period, you're not hearing about a lot of work is happening in the background with regards to these individual incidents and crimes. And as part of my presentation, one of the things I said I'm very keen on is collaborations. I've already told them that, look, engage with us. We are happy to collaborate because without these collaborations, there is no way we're going to be able to cover the 16 regions in Ghana in a very short period of time. It's going to be systematic, and we're going to get there. But if you know about most of the provisions today, you will one day speak to your friend and tell them, are you aware of this? So are you aware that for the fact that if you have an indecent image on your phone, it's a crime. You tell one person, that one person tells another person, and then it continues. It's a gradual process. We will get there, but
Were they involved in?
and there were a lot of things that were taken into consideration, but most of these are coming from best practice and for the different conventions that were put in place. And some of these conventions have taken these things into account. So we pretty much are very confident that we got an act that was basically captures most of the crimes that we need to basically criminalize, so that we are able to investigate them accordingly.
Within the business, the government areas, it's easy to communicate. So I think that the authority has made a lot of inroads that actually, so there is a sense of understanding and direction as to where the center is going, authority is going. But when it comes to the space where the civil societies operate, obviously it's clear that the different civil societies have some kind of engagements with some kind of channels that already exist. And that channel they're waiting to be fueled by a direction or directive from the cybersecurity authority. And so it's just like you want to provide internet to every corner in Ghana. You just have to drop a backbone somewhere, and then you have some people to take it to every corner. And so what I get from here is that the civil society organizations are ready to work with the cybersecurity authority to bring this thing down to the last place. And I believe that the cybersecurity authority must, if they can actually try to get some kind of a framework for engagement, and I won't call it an action plan, where you have specific outcomes that are expected. I think the civil society organizations are ready to drive this thing home so that Ghana can become a cybersecurity aware country with a highly elevated understanding of the issues and the penalties that go with the crimes that are committed. Thank you.
So we need a partnership, but we need your action. We want to see that high level of commitment. And again, finally, I would like to say that the cybersecurity authority should help us understand their groupings, the vulnerable group as well as the sectors, just so when we are planning our work, we can effectively align them. And I wish to also say that as organizations that are working with people, let's not focus our work only offline. Let's try and align our programs to take into consideration some of the bits and pieces on cybersecurity, just to be cutting costs and also be reaching a wider audience. Because you can be doing child protection and focus offline, but there's child protection issue online. Beyond the protection, responsible use as well is there. How do you use a pen in the classroom? How do we align that with cybersecurity? So it's a holistic conversation we'll be having in mind and we'll be covering the wider ground. Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank the Media Foundation for West Africa for this gathering. I think it's been very interesting work, and there are quite a few things I've taken away today and to be able to ponder over. But you see, for me, there were two people within my presentation and within my previous presentation. There were particular slides that showed the 13 sectors of the CIA. See, I pretty much see that as civil society, because we cover all those areas in different ways. They're all covered. So I think in terms of our engagement, and that's why I pretty much, when it comes to awareness creation and all that, I tell you that if we could basically continue to collaborate in different ways, and for me, collaboration is very key to me. And I hear all about the action plan as well. But I'm very aware and as well as be aware of the benefits that they get from the internet. So, for me, as I said, anything was in the collaboration is key for me. Any help from any of you in terms of being able to provide that awareness and creation. I'll just say that, look, send the invites over, let's see what we can do together, and we'll take it from there. But I think I'm very happy about this particular engagement, and it's something.
Also speaking at the event was the Executive Director for Child Online Africa, Mrs. Awo Haidam, said that the parent has a lot to do in parenting in order to have holistic mechanism for children to allow parents to play their role effectively.
So when it comes to the controls, first thing is that as parents who are the first gatekeepers of children, you have a responsibility. So it becomes a lot more difficult when such parents still put children's life in harm's way. So that is where the complication is. It could be Polo's situation. In fact, the interviews I granted, some people saw me interview a very wicked woman. How could she be taken from the child to go to sell when the child is still young? Who will take care of the child and all of that? And those are the kind of sympathy card or emotional blackmails that we pull on people. But the fact is that wrong is wrong any day, regardless who is involved. So social welfare department will now have to be putting parents on their toes to play their roles effectively, because we can't have government sector agencies there who are mandated to do A, B, C, D for us to have a holistic protective mechanism for children, and then some will be sleeping whilst others will be working. It will bring about fatigue. So for me, it's about time media understands the role of each agency. Make the agencies work. When the need arises, approach them, ask them the questions, and let us get the feedback. Other than that, we will not be going anywhere. We'll go back and back on the same issues every now and then.